Yeah.
Elosito. Bimbo. Hey.
She's Pharisees. Yeah. Let me talk about my life, nigga. This is how I feel. I spent the last 5 years trying to figure out a hill. For real, I step between the balance, being rich or being killed.
I just said something.
Yeah, it just went off too. Check. It's all
I
good.
might see a plug though. It's the black extension cord.
Oh, it's the power plug, the white one.
We are here. Oh yes, Lord, we are here. So yet another episode, season 2 of Unselfish Behavior Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you season 2 gonna be legendary. Yeah, I said that. I said season 2 gonna be different. I said that too, right there. I said season 2 we only sit with legends, and yet and still here we are. This was a vision of mine years ago. This brother we got in here today, man, this was a vision of mine years ago. And it's just it's a true testament of the power of manifestation. It's a true testament to the power of the universe and allowing it to align things that are meant to be aligned. This brother right here, man, I've admired for more than 2 years, more than Unselfish Behavior Podcast has even been out. I've been admiring this brother since he was giving Kobe Bryant trouble in 2009. I think it was finals. Hold on. I think it was trouble season. You know, I've been admiring this brother since he was giving my Lakers hell when he was in the Phoenix Suns. You know, they was giving us that work. I remember the days. I've been admiring this brother since he played with AI on the 76ers. Hold on. I've been admiring this brother since he was in the G League after he got drafted. I forgot. You thought I forgot. Nice. I've been rocking with him since day one. It is an absolute honor and a privilege and a joy of mine, you know, and a childhood dream of mine to be sitting here with this brother right here. You know, without further ado, he's a father. He's a retired NBA player. And, you know, every episode, Jay, I usually say, Unselfish Behavior Podcast, the number one podcast in all of Los Angeles, but, you know, we got to all hail to the motherfuckers in the building right now. You got to understand what's going on. You know, he's representing all the smoke in the building. Y'all make some noise, please, for my brother, your brother, Matt Barnes in the building.
That's a hell of an
I We have to.
Can't let the fans down.
Correct. And this was long overdue, Matt. You got to understand that, you know, oftentimes, man, I find myself sitting at home watching nothing but podcasts. My queen will tell you it's all I do all day, every day, all night. And all the smoke. We're going to start right there.
Yeah.
All the smoke. Huge fan of the platform. How did this come about? Who started with the idea? When did those juices start flowing for All the Smoke?
First of all, shout out to my brother Steven Jackson.
Absolutely.
He just lost his little brother about a week and a half ago. And we send prayers out to you and our family. Rest in peace, Snap Marley. But yeah, man, All the Smoke started. Jack retired, I think, 2 years before me. I retired, and then we both kind of got into media unexpectedly. ESPN, Fox, back and forth. And we kept getting positive feedback. We fuck with you guys. You guys are real. You guys are raw. We appreciate that realness. And so I just said one day, we was at my house in the Bay, smoking, watching TV, and I said, let's do a podcast. And he said, what's the podcast? I was like, I don't know, but I know we can cuss, drink, and smoke. I'm in. So, you know, he trusted me with the business. You know, I heard he said God aligned me with a dude that knew someone at Showtime, that they're just starting their Showtime basketball segment. We met at the Lowe's Hotel on Santa Monica on the beach, and I pitched him this idea of a kickback man cave, not a microphone in your face, but doing this, and watching the game. Because I feel like no matter if you're a celebrity or a regular person, the realest conversations happen in the man cave with the homies watching the game. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put a camera on that. No sizzle, no nothing. I pitched him the idea that he loved it. He didn't know what we had. I didn't know what we had. You know, our first year out the gate was the sports podcast of the year, so I knew we were doing something. And from there, we've continued to elevate, man. I don't know when this episode drops, but our next episode is Thursday. You know, we got the one and only Will Smith.
Hold on!
Yeah, buddy.
Big time.
Yeah,
We got to make some noise for that, man. Hold on.
I mean, like you said, you know, I'm blessed to even be, you know, like you said, you manifested this, you wanted to be on. He was the one that, when I thought of All the Smoke, I'm like, damn, if I get a Will Smith, like, that's super, that's an A+ list.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And we were able, you know, shout out to my man Deion Taylor and Melissa, everyone who made it happen. But you know, we just kind of continue to evolve. You know, rest in peace to my brother Cole. We had, what a lot of people were saying, Cole's last interview. We've had Snoop, we've had Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Shannon Sharp, some powerful women, Carrie Champions, Metal Hill, Rachel Nichols. Like we've just been across the board. And at first it was a sports, but now we're just transferring it to culture. Like obviously sports is our go-to, but we just want to we want to humanize our guests. We want to make them feel comfortable. Like we've been chopping up, smoking, drinking. We do all, like, to me, if you can relax and feel like you can let your balls down, that's when you get your best interview.
That's right.
So I get people saying on our show, like, we've never told no one this. So, like, so that means they feel comfortable enough to tell me some shit that they never told them. So we're not about the clickbait and going viral for the wrong reasons. We just want to humanize our guests and give our fans a chance to get to know Kobe Bryant, not the Black Mamba, or, you know, Will Smith, the man, not Will Smith, the actor.
Correct.
You know, so we've been blessed, and you know, shout out Showtime and Malka and the whole crew to make that shit work. But it's like I said, we found living in part.
Absolutely, man. And as we've seen within the past few years, I'd say about the last 5 years or so, podcasts have really transcended the game, all the way to sports, entertainment. I mean, you name it, everybody seems to have a podcast these days. And I love the aspect of it, like you said earlier, which allows the athletes to now tell their own story. Because back when I grew up, you know, not like I'm that fucking old, I'm only 31, but you had to see what an athlete said in a newspaper article or an article online, right? And social media wasn't as big when I was in high school, so we used to get the paper and see the quotes that LeBron said or Kobe said, or, you know what I'm saying? So now we're able to have our own platforms and share our own stories and transcend the game that way, which I love. Now, I want to take it back real quick. We're gonna take our time with this one just because I need to unpack the whole story. Now, I'm aware, based off my research, Matt, that your first love was football.
Yeah.
That's accurate, right? And then your second love was basketball just because you kept getting taller and taller and taller. But when did you realize, okay, I can make a career out of basketball? Like, I'm really good. I'm different.
I've always had that belief, you know. I was All-American football, I was All-American basketball. I always knew, and this is not to sound conceited, but I was going to be a pro in one of those two sports. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing, but it wasn't like an arrogance. It wasn't like none of this. I just love sports that much, so that's why, and I'm sure we're going to unpack it, that's why I never strayed off the path. You know what I mean? I had a lot of death, drug, violence, a lot of shit on both sides. Like a lot of people coming from, you know, low income housing have, but I just knew I was going to be a pro. And again, I don't say that cocky. I just say that like I believed in myself when I knew my grind would put me there. So football was definitely my first love. I was, you know, led the nation in touchdowns. You know, All-American, could have chose any college to play football at, but I just felt like I'm trying to get back to Johnson.
Hey man, handle your business.
Now we take our shit to another level.
Hold
like
on.
You guys
Correct. Hold on.
I'm gonna get her back, but
That
yeah,
part.
it's the call it wait now.
Hold on.
I know, as I was saying, I just no. We I didn't mean to front like that either, but like I said, we trying to elevate our shit, so you know, we're trying to get magic. Like I should do it. So I chose basketball. I just felt like I had more longevity. It wasn't no 6'8" NFL player. I mean, Harold Carmichael from the Eagles back in the day, but like when I played football, like I had 28 touchdowns on like 60 catches, like 1,200 yards. I ran a 4.39 40. I had a 39-inch vertical. Like there was no, they say like Megatron was a kill in,
right?
But like I'm bigger and have the same kind of physical attributes as he did. And I could really, I'm not a throw the ball up. Yeah, I can do that, but I can run routes. Like, you know, I got real hands. So there's not a day I don't sit back like, damn. But if I feel like thinking real, like I don't know if I would have played as long. I wouldn't have, but I think I would have made more money if I would have played.
You think so?
I think so because just for the fact that like you couldn't do nothing with me. So. You couldn't do nothing with me. And like I said, like I was a real football player before I was a basketball player. So it's not like you can like dog me out of the game or hit like you keep hitting me, I'm gonna keep coming. But there's always something that ain't 6'8" body. Take that one. So you know, I chose basketball and it was a grind for me. It was a second round pick. It was a cut. It was a G League. It was an ABA in the same season. Played with Dennis Rodman on the roof with Wayne Morris, and then still hitting bus strips and arm guard. You know what I mean? And then got called up to the Clippers and made a 15-year career out of something that was, you know, a dogfight the entire time.
Insane, bro. And the fact that it was 15 years and that shit flew by.
Yeah.
In your perspective. But for me, man, I feel like you've been in the league half my goddamn life. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? We've been watching that bars, nigga, since we started watching basketball. You know what I'm saying? You got drafted, what, 02? 02.
Yeah, 02 was my first year.
Who was in your draft class?
Man, Yao Ming was the number one pick. Yao Ming, Mark Stoudemire. And the next year was Rob's class. So, yeah, 2002.
That Suns, I remember that Suns team with Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion and Steve and motherfucker. Rajon fucking motherfucking Bell. I couldn't stand. Probably. That's right.
We still had Amari, then we had Jason Richardson with us. We had Steve Nash, Shaq. But Amari got hurt. Amari was going to die fucked out, so he missed pretty much the entire season.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Your greatest achievement in the NBA. What would you rank that?
First of all, making it, maintaining, grinding. I was the wrong person. I mean, it's like an easy been out the league for 2 years. So I'd say making it, and then the chance I got to go back to Golden State and win a championship. And it's not me winning the championship, it was my twin boys who were 8 at the time. Enjoying the perks that came with it. I mean, when I tell you, like, Steve Kerr and shout out to the Warriors organization, my boys were in the locker room. My boys were on the private plane.
Come on.
My boys are sitting on the bench. My boys are in watching film, eating food with us. Like, you couldn't tell them when we won a championship, they're up on stage. The finals MVP trophy from KD. They got the championship trophy from Steph. You couldn't tell these little motherfuckers wasn't on the team. So just that experience alone is priceless. And shout out my man Jason in Beverly Hills. He made the rings. So I actually got the twins rings, that custom rings. They were the exact same.
I saw an interview. You ain't gonna pick the motherfucker up yet.
No, that was with my ring. That
was with your ring, right?
Yeah, that's a long.
What's up with that? My man didn't pick this one.
No, I just felt like, as I mentioned, my career has always been a grind. Nothing was given to me when I shoot. I had to take every inch and every dollar. Underpaid, but respected by my peers on that piece of that. But I felt like, so I went to the team when KD went down with I presented his team. I went from Sacramento, where I had just signed a 3-year deal with my hometown team. Thought I was going to say, fuck it, let's try to make the playoffs. I'm going to finish. I got paid for playing 17 years. So, like, it's going to be a 17-year run. I'm going to finish at the crib. We're going to be cool. They traded Marcus Cousins at All-Star break. I have conversation with management. They're trying to go younger. I'm not trying to rebuild. They let me go, but they still got to pay me. And I'm able to go to the Warriors, and they pay me too. So now I'm getting paid by 2 different teams. But I say all that to say, so I came in when KD was hurt. I think he was out maybe a month and some change. Maybe the first game he came back, I sprained my ankle worse than I've ever sprained it in my whole career. Like, blew up. Like, I was like, why now? So by the time I was healthy, that was about a week before that. By the time I was healthy, it was the Western Conference. We were 8-0 in the playoffs. And me being a veteran player was like, fuck that rotation. I was just like a star player. So from there, I just had to be like an OG vet. You know what I mean? Encourage, work hard. And if my number was called, talk to guys so I felt they were hanging their head. And the one thing about that team is there's no egos there. So what I saw from my years in the game, I could talk to Steph. I talked a lot to Clay. Me and KD would have sessions after the game. We used to bounce the game off each other. Draymond is a little bro, so for these guys to be so achieved and accomplished in their career, they respected where I was coming from. This is my grind, but I felt like I didn't get a chance to go out there and go to war with me. I didn't get a chance to guard Kawhi. I didn't get a chance to guard LeBron. I didn't get a chance to guard the best player. That's what if I was healthy, what happened. Right. So again, I thank the Warriors for the opportunity, and I'm gonna go down in the books for a champion. But I felt like I didn't earn it. I think my body had worked over my career. I earned it through my grind, and it's the way I move. But in this particular team, I didn't feel like I earned it. So the me not picking up the ring was the whole story. So I went, and then after I retired after that season,
2017.
I was ready to just see what was next. And so I went back with the Twins, and we all got our rings one night, but the boxes big as motherfuckers. So what I did was I gave the boxes to someone that worked there, and they put it in a room and secured it. I ended up leaving early, I ended up leaving earlier before the game was over, and the person that had the key had already went home before I did, so my ring was locked in like the secure room. But I'm living in LA at the time, so it's just like, it was just a hit and miss of, me trying to catch him the right time, them trying to catch me. So, shout out my guy, Randy Ritter, who is to do it all for the Warriors. He had the ring driven down, say it was like 3 years later, bro. Had the ring driven down, and they presented it to me on ESPN while I was on the air, man. So it was dope. So like I said, it wasn't a situation like I respect the ring. I had the ring. It's at the crib, but I'm not someone that says like I'm an NBA champion or wear my shit because I feel like
that's just saying.
It's just not. I hadn't heard it. Yeah, man. And a lot of some people, real ones understand it. Other people don't. But just as long as you respect it, that's all I ask. So that was the story behind the ring.
I hear that, man. And how important, you hear a lot of this in NBA, media perspectives. They say the veterans' presence. How important is that? If not only you were not out, so he wasn't out there, but there's other ways to contribute to the team.
Absolutely.
How valuable was your presence to that team?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like I said, I have the respect for the guys I mentioned earlier, and I have respect for everybody I played with. So I just think, in general, it wasn't so much what I did, but I feel like the NBA is missing that. The NBA is so young now. Like when I came in the league in the early 2000s, like you had 37, 38, 39, 40-year-old players on the team, whether they were contributing or not on the floor. They were in the locker room. They were on the bus. They were on the plane. They were, putting their arm around us and making sure we didn't move the wrong way. They were giving us their per diem checks. They were just looking at everybody in the suits. They were doing all this shit that an older dude would do. You know what I mean? But I feel like the league has transferred to being so young now that, a few years ago I saw a crazy thing where Steph Curry was the oldest dude on the Warriors at 32.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's just like
that's not is that this?
No, Steph's like 34 now. So it was a couple years ago. But when I seen it, I'm just like, he's the oldest on the team. So it's just like I feel like the NBA as a whole misses those older players because there's just so much in the game of basketball, in the game of life that vets can give to these youngsters, especially now that there's so much motherfucking money getting thrown around.
Man, listen, it's different. I know you done thought a few times. Let me get up in this motherfucker. I can still shoot a few threes from the corner pocket.
I haven't really.
No.
The one thing I say and I thank God for is I'm at peace. I never once, go back and get my distance. Like I feel like I'm pouring all that energy into my kids now.
Nice.
I have 12-year-old, 14-year-old boys and. Providing them every opportunity they needed, and I got a 3-year-old who was like 6 who's coming down the pipeline that might be a defensive end. So there's all that energy of, competitiveness and still have it. I pour that into the boys and being a father, and then also getting the blessing to be a coach. So I get to coach my twins too. So that's where that energy goes.
That's dope, man. I remember thinking to myself when we first connected, and we even had a conversation off camera about this, but like, I feel like when I hear your story, we have so much in common on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? From having an integrated family, right, a blended family, quote unquote, to, being able to be in a position to where you've experienced the good and bad aspects that come with parenting. And like I've been there as well. Just talk a little bit about what's been your biggest gift and what's been kind of like the biggest, I'm not going to call it a curse, definitely not going to call it a curse, but like what's been your biggest like challenge with parenting and what's been your biggest gift with parenting?
My biggest gift is obviously being a father. First and foremost, I think my biggest challenge, but I don't even look at it as a challenge, I just look at it as learning. And the tough shit about mine is, we decided to do reality TV in 2010. And after we did that, like, there was no more privacy on what's supposed to be private, which is a relationship and obviously your children. So we chose to, I really had to be cool and not blame Shaq for this. We chose to, show basketball wise. So it's just been every move you make after you're kind of on in a different, not only sports now, but you're in the gossip area too. So it's just like it was a lot. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm learning day by day. My divorce was very public. What happened after or what happened after we were divorced was in the public, where I had to run in with a former teammate. So everything that happens that's supposed to kind of be private was never private, but at the same time, I'm happy to say, going into 2023 and me and my ex-wife are on the same page and my former teammate, because they're still together. Because at the end of the day, it's about raising these two men. We have two young, African American, 14-year-old boys, growing up in society, and we know the importance and the dangers that come with that. So it's just like, when I'm not around, you're the dad. You know what I mean? We share time. You know what I mean? And they love him and respect him too. So it's just after all the crazy drama, and it was a lot of drama and hand stone and court cases and millions of dollars to spend on lawyer fees. Like I'm happy to say, it's been a learning process. It hasn't been an easy learning process, but just to be, the boys just turned 14 last week, and to be able to say that the mom, they come to the birthday party and we would all congregate under one roof for for the sake of our voice is a blessing.
Absolutely, man. Hey, speaking of hands, I saw your interview last night with Mike Tyson. Now, let me tell you how I feel about fucking Mike Tyson. Jesus Christ. I feel how you feel about Mike Tyson. Because I saw your interview and you're like, man, I done sat with Obama, I done sat with, big time people. This is season 1 of Hot Boxing when I first got put onto it.
Okay.
But Mike Tyson, man, there is nobody above that. For me, on my list, there's nobody that exceeds me sitting, even in the room, fuck talking to him. Me sitting next to Mike Tyson, it's like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? And Kobe was also on that level as well. Rest in peace, Mama. I am the biggest Kobe fan that's ever existed. Let's just make that clear. But Mike Tyson, man, what was that like sitting next to somebody that you grew up watching, somebody you consider an idol, and you got so much inspiration from? What was that like?
That shit was surreal. And from the point of being on this podcast and then being his co-host on this podcast now, where I come in and do, kind of cameos and host. Right. I mean, bro, last week I got to sit down with motherfucking co-host with Mike Tyson and interview Ice Cube.
Crazy.
I'm like, as a kid from California,
you can ask nothing else.
But just when you're dealing directly with Mike used to cause real issues in my family because that pay-per-view used to be like $40 to $50 and they would fight for 30 seconds.
Correct.
So my mom and my dad are really cussing each other out and yelling and having a full-blown argument because my dad just didn't pay the money and my mom felt like we didn't have to motherfucking watch that Mike Tyson fight, whether it went around or within 30 seconds. Like every fight we ordered, he used to record every fight. So, to come around, 10 years old, coming back around now when I'm late 30s, early 40s, and like call Mike a brother. Like Mike texts me on holidays. Mike texts me when he changes his number. I'm like, I look at my phone like sometimes I look like, baby, like,
look, I look like I don't tell you. You said Mike Tyson. Look, now I'm like this. What you say? Hold on.
But he just checks in. He's like, no, like, this is Mike Tyson.
It's fucking Mike Tyson. What's going on?
Fuck. So it's just such an honor. Just someone who was, obviously growing up so important to us, and we like motherfuckers cried when he lost, and when he went to jail like our hearts broke. Like we grew up on Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? So just to be able to call him a friend, be able to call him a brother, man, it's a blessing. Oh man, this is bigger than a blessing. That's one of these days, Matt Barnes. I'm speaking right now. I believe in the universe. I speak a lot of things into existence. You're one of them, and just sitting here, man, just being a kid, born and raised in LA. For me, I was born and raised a basketball fan. I grew up in a basketball family. That's all we played. We swore we was going to the NBA when I was 8, 9 years old. It was like everybody's wish. But it's just beautiful to sit here with you, my brother. And so many questions are going through my head. It's like I'm trying to pick one like a motherfucking Rolodex. Hold on. You are smoking right now. Yeah. Let's just talk a little bit about what the importance is of that that's in your hand. Oh, man. I just said something.
Yeah, it just went off too. Check. It's all good.
I see a plug though. It's the black extension cord.
Oh, it's the power plug, the white one.
Hey, you actually did that right in alignment.
All right, so Matt, continue to tell me, my dear brother, what is the weed perspective and the cannabis mission right now with you? What's that looking like?
Man, I started smoking when I was 14. My dad was doing things in the streets, and the one thing I picked up from some of the shit he was doing was weed. I stole it from him at 14. First time I smoked, got a big-ass headache, but I wasn't a quitter. So I went back around second time, and, from there it was just – I had a rough childhood, drugs, violence, abuse, just had to deal with a lot. So I just – from the second or third time I smoked it, it just allowed some clarity, allowed me to sleep better, allowed me to focus. I was just like, cool. And I did all of that through high school, through my UCLA days, through my whole NBA career. Nice. And I just figured to me it always had balanced me out. So it's a beautiful thing to see, today that it's studied for the positive components of the plant. And, myself and my brother Al Harrington, we're really trying to push the NBA and the NBPA to understand the plant, and I felt like they should stop testing NBA players because it was a whole job to
Didn't they stop? No?
They stopped in the bubble and they never went back. But it was a whole job to smoke, you know what I mean? Because it's 4 random tests. When I first came in the league, it's, everyone gets tested on the same day in the preseason. You can rock the rest of the season. And then, I don't know, maybe 2005, 2006, it was 4 random tests. So like we could be smoking today, and I can get tested in the morning. So I would just go to GNC and get this drink, and I'd be up front with them. The drink changed maybe 3 or 4 times throughout my 15-year career. But I was just like, I got to take a pee test. What's the best shit to get out of my system? I'll be that. And they, oh, are you Matt Barnes? You play for the Lakers, or you play for the Warriors? And I'm in the store asking like, yo, I have to smoke.
Correct.
So what's the best drink for me? And I would get these drinks, and then I would pay my trainer. So like, yo, just give me. You don't need to tell me if it's me. Just give me a heads up when it's coming that morning, so I could prepare.
Right.
So every time the team got tested, I just treated it as if I was tested. So I went through my whole process, and for 15 years, I failed twice. One time it didn't work because I don't think I did the steps right. Another time I didn't have it with me. And you get 3 strikes in the league. So I was on like 2.75 because I went and volunteered and went in the program twice, even though you're only supposed to do it once. So I just feel like there wasn't another alternative. I'm not a big drinker. I'll socially drink. I'll take shots. I'm cool.
Right.
A simple Vicodin gives me a stomach ache. So just for me, the only time I missed games was when I had knee surgery or I got suspended. Like I didn't let sprained ankles, fingers. I was a football player mentality.
Right.
So I wasn't letting little shit, allow me to sit out. So, I mean, I'd smoked before and after pretty much my whole entire career.
Where do you think the taboo came from a sports perspective? It's always kind of been, especially being born and raised in the hood, it's always been socially accepted amongst ourselves.
I think it didn't start in sports, not to cut you off, but I just think it was stereotyped as a black drug by white people way back in the day. And that shit never lifted until they finally started, because then there was never no funding for the positive attributes of the plant. There was always negative research on it. So that's all until they started funding for positive research. They just started figuring out, how amazing this plant was. So, doing that, kind of taking it as a badge of honor once I retired to kind of be the shield for these guys and really try to push the leagues to try to help. So I like to say, I'm a small part of, kind of changing policy and being consistently out there. Like, hey, you can, some of the best players in the world use this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're the faces of your league hit the tree from now,
That's right.
Every now and again. So I transformed that into business. I have a company that I'm a minority owner of called 7 Leads from my hometown up in Sacramento. So we're doing some cool things.
Nice.
Also, the Sacramento Kings, I work for the Kings, so they have this new thing called Light the Beam. So I'm actually doing a Light the Beam pre-roll. So we're going to, take advantage of that up there. I do something with my big bro. Shout out Chris Webber. He's, got a couple $100 million under a cannabis fund, and I do some stuff for his company called Players Only. We also have a collab, All the Smoke brand out with Players Only. That is in Michigan right now. No, I think we're going to be in Las Vegas. Hopefully we'll be across the country by the end of next year. So just kind of being able to let people know that this is, it was a crazy story. Like when I first came to LA, I was, UCLA in 98, I was going to all this Hollywood shit because it's just the access UCLA gives you. And it was more common to see people snort cocaine than people that smoke weed. Like we used to have to go in the backyard to smoke weed, and I'm just like, I just saw them people
and
just
niggas snorting coke on the dance
in
floor
front of everybody.
Come
like,
on.
what the fuck? You know what I mean? So it just came such a long way. And there's a handful of us that stood our ground regardless, and took chances every day to smoke. But to me, there was no other alternative.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Insane to me, man. And as a frequent cannabis smoker myself, man, I just feel highly disrespected. A lot of times I feel highly disrespected. I'm like, man, nothing makes me this fucking happy.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine arguing with a nigga high. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Why are you yelling at me? This is not possible.
Why are you yelling
What
at
are you doing? Thought we're all supposed to hear what I hear. No one does. Just me. But what I'm saying is this, cannabis has always been something that, for me, I started when I was 17 years old, Matt. Just a little backstory with me and cannabis. I started when I was 17 years old. Shout out to my boy, Marcelo. He used to always get me high at school. My Mexican homie from LA High. Shout out Marcelo.
Yes, sir.
He's somewhere out there. I think he's still at Smart and Final on him.
I
Pico.
had my white boy, Matt Devine. Shout out
Come
to
on.
homie. Yeah,
It's always that
man.
nigga that just
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm
Always
saying?
had the witty for me.
That part, man. And I remember going to school high and hearing my teacher talk and shit and just being like, yo, why is this nigga talking to me? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I'll just walk out. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of smoker to where when I smoke, bro, I need zen. I need peace. I need quiet.
You're definitely not getting that in high school.
That part, exactly. Especially not from a teacher that you don't want to be in his class anyway. So it's insane.
I started the first time I smoked before a game. I was a senior in high school, and we had cut school, and we took a gravity bong. So normally I could smoke. Back then we was on blunts, but normally I could smoke a blunt and be cool. But I took a gravity bong, so I'm gonna set the scenario for this tournament. It was like a 3-day tournament First game I had like 60. So we're on game 2 when I take this when I take this bong hit. So go to my homeboy's house. So Gravity, remember them Alhambra bottles, like the big Alhambra bottles that used to get delivered? So we cut the bottom out, make a bowl at the top, submerge it in water, and then light the bowl, and you pull up the whole Alhambra bottle right to the tip of the water. So pretty much you're trying to take a whole Alhambra hit.
Correct.
Like, and Alhambra bottles are big.
Come on.
You know what I mean? So, you know, like I went to an all-white high school, so my white homeboys were hitting it like it was cool, and it just, I learned my lesson that day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So
that
had me fucked up. So in that game, I want to have like 4 or 6 points, and I don't know if you might be a little too young to remember Teen Wolf, but remember when Teen Wolf?
Yeah, I remember Teen Wolf.
When he would turn his head, everything would come behind it. Like that's how
I never watched
it. So that's how the shit felt. Like I just felt I had like 2 air ball layups, like just fucked off, and I. The timeouts, I see my homeboys in the top of the bleachers all laughing, like all dying because they knew I
faded.
was just
He's like,
fried,
gone.
Fried.
You hear stories about
yeah, man, fried.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had like in the third day, I had the next game, I had like 47, and I didn't get MVP because of that motherfucking the bong rip day.
Ain't that
so
about a bitch.
yeah, man, but I've always been for it. Again, I kind of found what
Yeah.
works for me. And, you know, so during my NBA career, I would, you know, do shoot around. So we'd have shoot around. That's just, you know, a 30-minute walkthrough of the day of the game. So I would go to shoot around, and I would come home like around 11 or 12, smoke me a joint, listen to music, kick back, you know, do whatever I need to do real quick. And then I would take a nap, and I would get up, shower, and eat, and go to a game. So it wasn't like I'm smoking on the way to a game, but I would smoke, you know, within 4 or 5 hours of the game. And it was for me. You know, my goal every time I play was I had the blessing of guarding Kobe, LeBron.
You
KD,
never guarded any of these
Carmelo.
niggas faded, have you?
Every game. I
Come
smoked every day.
on.
But like I said, to me, it was my focus. You know, to me, like I
I love this nigga even more. I'm sorry,
But
man. Hold
no.
on. You're the realest nigga I've ever met.
Yeah.
Hold on. Goddamn.
Nah.
Nigga guarding Kobe faded?
Come on, to me. But like I said, it was so
understand.
normal to me
It was
because I've been
normal.
doing it for so
I love
long.
it. I love it.
You know, like so. I mean, yeah, I wanted to score 20 or 30 points a game, but every night I got
Yeah.
the blessing to guard these great players:
That's right.
Carmelo, D. Wade. You know, all these Ginobili, Paul Pierce. Dudes you wouldn't even think of were cold. Like every night I had to guard the best player every night. So that was my let me burn this and start watching some film and learn their moves. And again, I always knew that great offense was going to beat good defense, but I just wanted to make everybody work. Like if Kobe was going to score 30, I wanted him to take 30 shots. I don't want Kobe to be, 14 for 18 for 30 points. Like that means he busted your ass. But if Kobe is 12 for 32 from the field and had to take 9 or 10 free throws, that means I made him work because he didn't shoot over 50%. So that was kind of just my outlook on basketball. But yeah, it was always high.
I love it. How do you prep for Kobe? What's that night before look like when you
it just depends. Because me and Kobe go back. So I met Kobe in 98. So he was drafted in 96, and it's well documented. He didn't really vibe with the older team when he first got there. So he was always on campus at UCLA, eating,
I remember seeing
chilling,
that,
working out, playing. So I just got to, know him as a what's up, and just started watching him like, he's a problem.
Different.
You know what I mean? Like he would come back into Poly Pavilion after we had even done practicing and do these workouts. I remember one time he broke his right wrist and was doing a whole entire workout left-handed. So it's just like I just started giving the admire for it because you could see his grind early. I'm like, damn, if I ever make the league, that's what I'm going to have to guard. So it was almost kind of like a fan because I seen the growth in front of me. But, I played him so many different times. I mean, I knew Kobe's game. And, there was games where he got the best of me, and there was games where I had definitely held my own and made it work.
Yeah, I remember.
There was a game we almost got in a fight. So it just it was always a mutual respect between Kobe and I. And, from that ball fake in Orlando in 2010, like people don't know because people to this day like, oh, you didn't like Kobe or Kobe didn't like you. I'm just like, this nigga called my phone that I didn't even have his number saved, and after that season, like wanted me to be a Laker. And I'm like, I grew up here, Showtime, Magic, that was the shit for me. So I'm like, huh? I was like on the way to going to Miami, and that's when Bron and them were going to Miami. But like for Kobe to call me out the blue, never talked on the phone, and say anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough to play me. If you want to be a Laker. Hell, motherfucking yeah.
Come
so like
on,
4 days later, I was a Laker, and that's where we went from like, a mutual respect to teammates to like brothers. Like, dude, he would coach his daughter, I would coach my twin. So it was always out in Orange County. That's where he lived. And before majority of the tournaments, like we would talk the night before, like, yo, what time you play? What time you play? Like there'd be times where like we'd play at 9 because we're younger, and his daughter didn't play till 11. Kobe would come 2 hours early to watch some 8 and 9 year olds play basketball.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like every time he had a shoe came out, he blessed the Twins, but the chip. We got a box of shoes for their team 2 weeks before he passed.
Wow.
Like, every time it dropped, like, they called him Uncle Kobe.
Wow.
So the journey of knowing Kobe was just amazing. And I get back to the point, what was it like playing him? It was just, to me, I missed MJ by a year. Like, Kobe was him. And I hate how much he gets disrespected by people who didn't play the game. All these dudes, that the people I work with over at ESPN, and all these people talking about Kobe's not top 10. Like, get the fuck. You ask anybody who played against, like, get out of here. He's top 3, 4 at most, and he's not 4.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, when you hear the analysts talk about it, he's not in my top 5. He's not in my top 10. Man, get the fuck out of here.
And you played with
this man. You ask his peers. His peers. Ask the people who had to deal with this motherfucker every night. Like, it's a whole nother story. So he was special. He was the one player, obviously. I think that a lot of us grew up like, can't wait to guard this dude.
Yeah, yeah. What was he like? I know he had a lot of different perspectives about him on a personal level. What was Kobe like personally away from basketball?
Cool.
Team bonding nights,
people
chilling
don't know
with
Kobe's cool
as
as fuck.
shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nigga, talk shit.
Talk
shit back to him. Like, cause I'm a
nigga
shit
from
talker.
Philly at the end of the day.
I keep it like, I'm the dude in the locker room that, you know, I'm down for you regardless.
Yeah.
You fight, I fight, I'm with you. But I'm also gonna talk shit to keep it loose. So early on, I talk shit to him. And I don't know if motherfuckers are used to that, but that's just who I'm just like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it wasn't on no disrespectful man shit. I'm just talking shit. Like, we're homies,
talking
right?
shit.
We're teammates,
That's what
we
we do.
family, so we talking shit. So he was cool, man. I seen shit with Kobe I've never seen in my life. The way he can, you know, clear a restaurant with a phone call and it just be us, and you know, walking from the Staples Center underneath the ground up to his penthouse condo in the Ritz, like without even touching the air. Like, Kobe was cool, man. I got a chance to go out there and work out with him. He would, you know, have me come out to Orange County and work. We're on the track at 4:30 in the morning. Then we're in the weight room lifting weights until we can't lift our arms, and then we hit in the gym when I'm like, bro, I can't even lift my shit right now. Like, this is like an everyday thing.
That's what he do.
You know, being Uncle Kobe to my kids. It was just the journey was amazing, and to see him outside being the Black Mamba was important. And I wish the world. I asked him one time on the bus, and I think Pau Gasol has a story like this. I'm like, how come you don't ever show the world this dude? He looked at me. He got in his little, I can't show the world this shit.
Come on.
That's what he said. I can't show the world. I can't show these motherfuckers this side.
Come on.
Like, he's a killer from
They'll
start
sense
to
weakness.
finish. Yeah, they're like,
I gotta kill them all.
Nothing but
Oh my
fuck
God,
everybody.
bro.
Yeah, but
Jesus
again,
Christ.
to play against that guy and play basketball with that guy,
Yeah.
but then to know how cool and kick back he is. But at the same time, like, I took my twins for their 10th birthday. They're 14 now, but we surprised them and took them to Orange County, and Cole worked them out, and he made one of the twins cry. And I loved it because he doesn't give a fuck. Like, we're here to work. Like, fuck all that bullshit.
That's
Leave
right.
it home. We're here to work.
How old were they at this point?
They were turning 10.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, one of them cried. I'm just like, it wouldn't be Cole if it wasn't like, I love you. I feel for you, but we're here to work. Like,
that's right.
He's like, take your mind somewhere else. Like, it's not, take your mind. What do you like to do? Play video game. Take your mind there while you're going through shit that is hard or you don't think you could do. Like, take your mind somewhere else and your body will go in motion. He would just give them little gems when they're 10 years old. So, again, I got to see the player who was a motherfucker.
Come on.
And the man, the father, the business owner, the husband. It just... We lost, the world lost a great basketball player. LA lost a superhero.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So rest in peace
the
to
world,
him
man.
and sending love to the family.
Absolutely, man. I think about Kobe very often. He was the biggest inspiration for me, along with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I thought these niggas were God when I was young. I thought Kobe and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's it. That's all I cared about. And the niggas got to say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson now because the young kids don't just know who The Rock is. You know, they'll never know that. Did you grow up a wrestling fan? Like all of us?
I was out of wrestling by the time The Rock was rocking. I was Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Ultimate Warrior, the British Bulldogs, the Islanders, Ted DiBiase. Like, I was, Rick Rude, Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah.
I was that era. So I was early 80s. I probably gave up on wrestling maybe when the 90s hit.
Yeah.
But then my kids picked it up too, and I got back into it a little bit because the twins we used to hit the WrestleManias, all the shows that came to LA, so they kind of got me back into my child ways, which was dope. But loved wrestling, but never was really fucking with wrestling during Rock's run.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. A lot of memories you missed there, but a lot of memories you gained as well.
Right.
Real quick, I heard your conversation. I was mentioning this earlier, but I heard your conversation with Mike Tyson, and he was talking to you about DMT, the toad, ayahuasca.
Toad.
right? And you said, I want to try that shit, Mike. Let me know next time you try it. Have you had the chance to experience some
I haven't.
psychedelics?
Unfortunately, Mike moved to Florida, I think, or Miami or something, for his daughter to go to school. So I never really got a chance to. Like I said, we still see each other, but it's in a work setting. Never got a chance to, but would. But man, just God bless Mike. Mike be on one. Mike be on the gummy ears that he has with Holyfield.
I got him at home. Yeah, they're the best.
Really he'd be on those. He'd be on the, he'd be on the mushrooms. But he just seems at peace. Like I said, he was a superhero, and just to hear all the shit he's been through and the ups and downs, just to see him happy. And you got can you imagine being interviewed by Mike Tyson?
Man, bruh.
Like, come on, man.
I can't imagine, and I can't imagine.
It's crazy when you see like Ice Cube giving Mike Tyson his flowers. Like Ice Cube, one of the biggest rappers, movie people in the world. Like we're all fans of this dude. You know what I mean? So it was just beautiful because they exchanged pretty much flowers. How Mike looked up to Cube, and so it's just it's surreal, man. Like to think that I was a 15-year role player, played on several different teams, but to be able to move the way I move post-career and be able to have the friendships where I can call Snoop on the phone, I can call Ice Cube on the phone, Kobe was my brother, Mike is the homie, you know what I mean? Just to think like a kid from Sacramento, it's just like, man, this shit is amazing. It's been a hell of a roller coaster, and some shit's played out publicly, but I just think how blessed I am, man. And before all that shit is, to be a father to, 3 beautiful kids, and then 6 overall. I have 3 bonus kids, and just to be able to be a father and be there now day to day for stuff, although I work a lot, and see the growth and really influence that. That's my greatest accomplishment.
I love it. I'm over here thinking from the family aspect too. How do you balance it all from a relationship perspective? Your life is so public. I see the boys got a podcast now.
Yeah.
Like everybody's so magnetized. What is that like?
It's hard, man. My days, like I told you guys, my days are like, they start at 5 or 6 in the morning in the gym, but I'm on go, the constant. But it's all shit I love to do. You know what I mean? It's not so much about the money. The money's good, but it's like you're gonna pay me to get on ESPN and talk shit. You're gonna pay me a lot of money to run a podcast. You're gonna have me, commentate my hometown Sacramento Kings team. You're gonna have me commentate the LA Clippers, where I, loved. And it's just like these opportunities have continued to kind of, just bless me. So it's just like doing fun shit, but also realizing, okay, now I have teenage boys who are into girls and got little motherfucking mustaches and think they know what's going on. So I got to make sure. My first son, it was the dopest shit. He had his first date, and we were coming back from the Bay for Thanksgiving, and it was supposed to be his mom's time, but she let me have him to go up there and see my dad and shit. But I was just like, hey, we can drop you off at your mom's, who lives out deep in the valley, or you can come with me. And he's just like, I'd rather come with you, Dad, because I want to, I'm excited about my date. I want to talk, I want some game, pretty much.
Right.
So it was so dope. This is just this past weekend. So we're on the way to Magic Mountain. I'm just giving him game on just, how to, the first date. First of all, because I'm telling his business, but it was such a dope moment. And unless you're a dad, you don't really feel it. And you got daughters, so you can kind of respect and understand it. So so it's just like, rule 1, just. First of all, don't tell your homeboys none of your business.
Correct.
Naturally, at that age.
Oh, that's game right there, man.
Naturally, at that age, everyone wants to brag, and men
For
bragging
sure.
forever. But your friends at this age,
Don't tell
13,
them niggas
14,
nothing.
they're haters.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That's just natural. It's not
Correct.
even a knock against them. Hopefully, they come out of that stage. But right now, that's what they are. And then I said step 2, befriend her friends. So 2 of her girlfriends were coming too. So be friends with her friends. I was giving them real shit.
He was a dangerous nigga when he was young.
Nah, so I was just, befriend her friends, because if you're cool with her friends, then if you're not cool with their friends, they're always going to, Isaiah's
they hating on them. Facts.
But if they love you, they're going to sing your praises. There's no better. And then from there, just, be yourself, crack the ice. She's going to first be in her group. So, when you go first, go compliment her. I like whatever it is, shoes, bracelet, hair, and then compliment the homegirls. And then take the lead, but don't be aggressive. You know what I mean? Suggest, you guys want to go get ice cream? I'm going to go shoot this game. You guys want to go, throw. So I was just dropping them off, and him and Carter were both really listening and asking questions. And it was such a dope dad moment that during the date, he was like, Dad, it's going great. Dad, thanks. Yeah. And I was showing my girl at the time, I was like, yo, this shit is what it's about.
Man, communication with your kids, right?
He sent me a picture
Major.
Dad, she don't want me to leave. I'm like, no, go ahead and leave right now. Your mom's on the way, because just leave her wanting more. Next time it's going to be funner. You know what I mean? So just giving them, next time, your brother's got a girl, now you guys are twins, now you guys going twin. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's the shit that, luckily that now I'm done playing and still working, that I have time for. That's the family stuff. Ashton, my little man who's 3, looks like he's 6. played in a 4 or 5 year old league, won MVP of scoring, and never played basketball. Like, we don't work on basketball. He's too
Wow.
little. I'm too busy. You know what I mean? So he's just seeing all the game from his brothers playing. So now he's
crazy.
in the game. And then again, having bonus kids. I mean, so many families are blended now. And I'm not going to lie,
right.
it took me a long time to get to it because I'm the type of dad that'll tell you, go do your fucking homework, but the fucking ain't like a normal fucking. It's just like, go do your fucking homework.
Right,
Like, it's
right,
not
right.
like, but
It's casual.
if you haven't grown up with that, like saying like, go do your fucking homework to someone that's not your kid, they're going to be like, oh my God. man. You know what I mean? So it's just
Correct.
kind of finding that balance of being a bonus dad and let them get to know me. I've been in their lives for almost 5 years now. So now it's just like, sometimes like, now go do your fucking homework. You
That's
know what I mean?
right.
Like, because it's not coming from a place of, it's coming from a place like, all right, you've been bullshit, now go do your homework.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what a normal parent would say. So the balance is tough, man, because I travel so much. But again, I love the work side, but also love the family side. So just, I'm getting about 5 to 6 hours of sleep a day, and that's all it is because my life is on the go.
I love it, man. And for me, again, bro, I relate to that just because I have a blended family as well.
Yeah.
One of my biggest challenges in attempting to blend my family earlier on was my oldest daughter, who I have with the other mother of my child. She's my oldest. She's my firstborn. She was the princess for as long as she can remember.
Yep.
And now I'm bringing in an extra girl. And she didn't want to talk to her, and she don't like
What's
what
the
she
age difference?
So my oldest is 12, and then
Okay.
Charlie's 9.
Okay.
Right, so
Yeah.
about 3 years.
They
or
was
so.
holding territory.
for
like, boys
sure.
are probably cooler than that, but girls
I
is
was
like,
gonna
nah,
ask you, yeah,
this is
for sure.
my dad.
Correct. And Charlie was at the stage to where she just started calling me dad comfortably.
Right.
And now I'm introducing her to Delilah. She's like, looking at her, why is she calling you dad? Like, this
Mm.
is. Did you have to deal with any beefs earlier on? Like, I dealt with
It took time, just
Yeah.
obvious because when there's twins, it was never raising the twins. Like, I was lucky because there's always two. When there's one at a time, you have to always pay attention and entertain them. But when there's two, like after like 18 months, these motherfuckers was like this. We just had to change them and feed them. They'd be doing something together, and you'd always be able to hear them. So to kind of start over with kids that are individually different ages and just have different routines on top of kind of changing your mom and dad just split up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm the new man in the life, and I'm fresh. I'm 2 years, 4 years, or 3 years out of my relationship with the twins. So it's just kind of trying to make that work, and it's not easy. But if there's enough love there and you love the person you're with, you're gonna make it work. So we went through a lot of ups and downs with that, but been able to get through that. Of my kids loving my girl now, and her kids having love for me. So it's just like it's worth it, because at the end of the day, like, it's just memories that they're gonna remember for a lifetime.
No, for sure. Absolutely, man. I see you on Instagram. You got 2 pages too, right?
Yeah, man, they took my shit away for like 6 months. I thought it was gone. So I started a new page. So I got like a little fake burner page with with a good amount of followers.
Yeah,
and
correct.
I got my main page back.
Correct. I'll be seeing you on there with the fam, man. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, brother. Shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk about the current state of the NBA, man. I'm a huge NBA fan. I watched so many games, throughout the duration of the week. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan, born and raised in LA. And let's talk about the Lakers right now, right? Like, what we looking like. We probably the 3rd worst team in the West right now. Last time I checked, we looking nasty. I don't know what issue it is. Obviously, we started off the season bringing Westbrook in as a starter, then they set him on the bench. I'm personally a Westbrook fan.
Yeah, I love Westbrook.
Talk to me about the current state of the Lakers, Westbrook, the whole
It's in today's game, you don't have time to gel. You don't have time to learn on the fly. Like, they expect immediate results, and particularly when you're with the Lakers. Like, you can win other places, but winning with the Lakers, there's nothing else in professional sports like it. So Laker fans have been spoiled, and they're impatient.
That's absolutely facts.
Last year, AD and LeBron didn't get a chance to play together that much.
We want to trade every fucking body.
However many games they played, it wasn't enough, and they couldn't make it. Now this year, what I'm seeing is obviously getting Russ to buy into his role off the bench when he's done, and he's excelling it. But then you just seen a stretch of, obviously bad basketball at the beginning, but of late, they've won 5 out of 6, and there was a stretch where Braun was down and AD was 35 and 15 every game.
Right.
Like, being like, oh yeah, that's you. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then AD goes down, and you see Braun go off the next night for 39 and 11 and 8, and it's just like, damn. How can these guys both play that game at the same time? Because that's what this team's going to need. Like, at the end of the day, this is not a very well put together roster, but at the same time, they still have pieces.
Facts.
And you still have AD and LeBron. So if they can stay healthy and bring out the best in each other every night, Russ buy into what he's got. I mean, to me, there's hope. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you know, you got to think LeBron, with, you know, all due respect, whether he ends up having 2, 3, 4 more years, like, he's on the back 9 of his
Yeah.
career, with all due respect. So he's writing his book. You know what I mean? So to me, you got to expect the unexpected, because he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
You know
hey
what I
man,
mean?
I'm over here thinking, Matt. I spoke to my good brother. You know him well. You work out with him, my brother Ray Westbrook.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him twice on the podcast. And the last
out
time
to
I
homie
had
Ray.
him, my guy Ray, shout out to Ray. He done lost 700 pounds. I told
Man.
him, I said, God damn, nigga,
That
what the fuck
motherfucker
going
couldn't
on?
move his neck
Yeah.
when he first came to the gym, and
When
now
I
he's
first
like
met
flexing.
Ray,
Was
that was a
big.
big boy, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He doing this
shout
shit.
out to Ray, man.
Proud
He
of my
work
guy,
hard. Yeah.
Ray Westbrook, man. But
Yeah.
when I interviewed him last time, we kind of went into some depth about, you know, how much disrespect his brother be getting in
it's
the media.
unbelievable.
You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, like, I don't know where the fuck this shit came from. It's like he came to the Lakers and all of a sudden niggas acting like he don't know how to ball.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like certain media personalities go
Absolutely.
too far?
I hate it.
Like, specifically, he brought up
hate it.
Skip Bayless
I
and
hate
Shannon
it.
Sharp. Like,
It's people that I'm cool with,
Yeah.
and people who I look up to and respect in the game, but I think the Russ disrespect reached the all-time high
insane.
considering who he was.
right.
And I don't mind, obviously, being in this position, particularly being a former athlete. It's tough because you do have to critique when there's bad play going on. But I feel like today, people disrespect the man. Like, fuck basketball. That's my job. But you're
Yeah.
disrespecting the man. You're disrespecting my family. Like, I thought the disrespect went way too
Yeah.
far with Russ. And I was on TV saying that. Like
No, for sure.
critique if you need to critique, but don't disrespect them. That's how someone's going to get fucked up. I mean, I
Facts.
feel like someone is going to get slapped in the next 2 or 3 years that is a reporter that
Yeah.
talks reckless about a player.
Yeah.
Because, you know, someone in particular, I mean, Skip Bayless is wild.
Boy,
Skip
wild,
is someone
boy.
that I look at. You know, I like Skip when he's, you know, on his bag, but when he's disrespect, he crosses the line.
On purpose, too.
And
Like,
there's
he
been
know what the fuck he doing.
2 people in particular that know I'm in the space and I could possibly get a hold of them, call me like I need to talk to Skip or there's going to be a
It's gonna
problem.
be a problem.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I just feel like, you know, obviously, you know, these guys have created lanes for themselves and they're making millions and millions of dollars to entertain. But at the end of the day, you have to forget there's a man on the other side of that athlete you're disrespecting, and a family and their friends. And like, you got to be careful sometimes
children,
because,
their
yeah, that's what I'm
kids.
saying. Because it's
Jesus
getting
Christ.
so disrespectful that don't condone it. But I have a good feeling that, you know, if people don't pump their brakes a little bit on the disrespect,
gonna be a problem.
someone in the media is going to end up getting hurt.
No, for sure, bro. I'll be sitting back at the crib thinking the same.
Like, whoa.
Motherfucker. I'm like, damn, this nigga bold. Don't they be at the games and
Come
shit?
on,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Like, you don't run
Whoa.
into him ever when you just disrespecting the
Right.
hell out the man.
And
But
it's going to be a hard slap, and they're going
Come
to pay
on.
like $350. And
Facts.
it's going to be worth every
Worth
penny
every
they
penny.
pay. You know what I mean? Just to let you know, like,
Yeah.
nah, we're not doing that here, bro.
yeah, for sure. You, man, on the court, I want to talk about Matt Barnes on the court, man. You were known for being that dude that you just don't fuck with. This nigga will beat your ass out here, or the nigga gonna attempt to. Like, where did that fire come from on a athletic level and as a
I
as a
just
sportsman?
grew up. I grew up fighting, and it was you know, when I moved from San Jose to Sacramento, like 7 or 8. That was the first time, and I'm Italian and black. That was the first time I was around white kids, and it was nigga this, nigga that. I didn't understand why they wouldn't let me play basketball, football, kickball, nothing. And I used to be like, my mom would try to console me, and my dad be like, no, fuck that. They call you nigga, fight him. I'm just like, oh, I can fight him. So
Come
when I
on.
tell you, like in 3rd grade to, I even had to fight my senior year over race. My whole entire
on.
school time, I fought for race. I've just always been fighting. Not that I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet. That's how we got down. If my brother and sister fought, I better fought. If they won or lost. If they, you know what I mean? It's a family thing. So I was just always taught to protect. So I looked at my family as my teammates. So like I said earlier, like, if you get into it, I'm gonna get into it. You know, I'm with you.
Yeah.
There's no question. If there's the first person that needs to throw a punch or be behind your back or do anything, it's gonna be me. So I really never found it was people fucking with me. It would just be people kind of testing my teammates. You know, people trying to come at Cole, people try to come at CP, people trying to come at other guys, Steve Nash. So it's just like you always kind of, you know, because I was a football player, so I was used to aggression and I love to
Right.
fight. Nothing I'm proud of, but I enjoyed it. Like I've done a lot of fighting. So that was just my thing. It was just always kind of letting my teammates know, like, bro, you just here to play basketball. Anything else, I'm not promising we're gonna win, but I'm gonna have your back.
No, that's real.
No matter who it is.
Is there
You know what
anybody
I mean?
that you've gotten into a course throughout the course of your 15-year run to where you don't fuck with on a personal level? Like, if I see this nigga, like, it's a problem. Never transitioned outside of the basketball court. I love that.
Because I was willing to do it on the court. And
Right.
I was even willing to, one time in Milwaukee, this dude, John Henson, was Big Wolf and hadn't played all game, came in, blocked a couple shots, started bumping his chest, talking shit. ended up getting me a tee, and that happened to be my second tee, and
Mm-hmm.
he got kicked out. So he was wolfing. The crowd was hyping him up, and I was like, "This nigga just."
Were
got
you in
me kicked
Memphis?
out. I was in Memphis, and I
saw
followed.
that.
I went into the locker
You
room.
ran to the fucking
I ran
shit.
in the locker room, and I ran through the locker room, and one of his former teammates had come out like, bro, like he just ran out the back of the lock. I was, and then so after that, like I hurried. I was pissed. Like cops came in there, they stopped the game. Coaches came in there, so I hurried up and got in the shower, and then I went and sat by the bus, and like our bus was in their parking lot, and his teammates were coming out like, bro, he's behind the door. He's not coming out till you leave. Like I was literally trying to be the last person, just because he was doing so much talking.
Yeah.
But after then, I realized like it was probably an hour of me trying to hunt him down, and
Come
he
on.
never came outside. It just showed me he wasn't about shit.
Right,
You know what I mean? So
facts.
then it kind of showed me like it ain't worth it. So
Right.
to answer your question, there's no one that I really have, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's a competitive nature. It's not like I'm trying to disrespect you as a man. I'm just trying to be out here and doing it. If we're going to take it this way, I'll take it that way. But it was never no like grudge or when I see you, it is what it is, because I was always willing to get down on the spot.
Right.
So-
Facts. Would you have really fought Kobe, man? You'd have really threw hands with him?
Yeah, I
See,
didn't want to, but he was pissing me off that day.
What was he doing specifically from
Because
your
Kobe
perspective?
was just a killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His numbers speak for himself.
They
But
say he was
Kobe's-
elbowing niggas
He's
and
also
shit?
a mental. Like
Yeah.
he tries to mentally fuck you over. He tries to mentally intimidate you. He grabs you. He elbows you. He hit me in the sternum so hard it knocked the wind out of me that game. Shit like me catching a dunk tip, and he'll throw his elbow up as I'm coming down the rim. It'll hit me here, and then like under my chin, and I'm just like, and the refs see it. They just don't say nothing. So either I'm gonna fucking slap one of these refs, or I'm gonna have to fight Kobe.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
that's where the whole ball fake. Like it wasn't even thought of. It wasn't like I'm gonna fake the ball in Kobe's face. Like I told him, I was like, I wanted to fight you. Like you look at our interview, like I thought we were gonna fight. And I faked the ball, and the motherfucker didn't flinch, and it's like an urban legend now. But yeah, I would have. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just because it was just on some, God, how the refs letting this motherfucker keep doing this? Because it's Kobe, and that's what they're always gonna do. But I'm the one getting foul calls and all this tease and all this shit. So it almost bought. But again, I think Kobe respected that, because he may go about it in a different way, but he saw that, and like he said, he's like, anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough to play with me. Like he
Yeah.
went out and got Ron Artest the year before, because remember Ron ran up
I
on him
remember
and
that.
had his shit right
When he was
here.
on Rockets. Yeah.
And Kobe wouldn't have backed down for none of us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But he's just like, man, fuck it. I'd rather go get these two motherfuckers that
For
have him
real.
with me. Like we used to have conversations, because obviously me and Ron are gonna do the bulk of the heavy lifting when we were both all with the Lakers. But
Right.
let a motherfucker get 2 buckets on you. Get off him. I got him. We're like, nah, Kobe
Come on.
got him. Like, Kobe wanted to take that dude.
Come
like,
on.
nah, let me get him. And me and Ron would be arguing and halfway laughing, like, nah, bro, we got him. Like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you do the
Yeah,
scoring.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But we got these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But, you know, to have us 3 on the court at once, that shit was
Beautiful,
so
man.
dope.
Beautiful, man. Dope times,
Yeah.
dope fucking times, man. Hey, I just got to say right now, I always take a moment to just address where we at, to address how the room is feeling, how's the energy, and all that good stuff. Unselfish Beer, you having a good time here,
Yeah,
my brother?
absolutely, man.
Absolutely,
We've
man. I
done it.
think real quick, what I want to do is I want to shout the sponsor out real quick before we move forward. I got a few more questions for you, and we out of
Yeah.
here, I promise. But Poppy's Bourbon Whiskey, aged for 2 years. Make sure y'all check them out, man, on Instagram at Poppy's Bourbon Whiskey. We got them in the building. It is black owned. Shout out to Mimi. It is black
Yeah,
owned.
shout out Mimi.
Shout out to Mimi.
We met her at, whose tournament was that?
Say it again.
Whose tournament we meet them at?
Oh, that was at Bobby Brown's.
That's when me and you met.
Yep,
At
that's where
Bobby
me and you
Brown's.
met,
Yeah,
my
shout
brother.
out
Talk
Bobby,
about that.
yeah.
What was that
That
like,
was dope, man.
Meeting your boy.
Come on,
for the
man,
first
Bobby.
time. Yeah.
So my first hosting job on Mike's interview was to fucking do Bobby Brown. So I'm
Facts.
looking at like my prerogative with the
Insane.
Gumby
Come on.
and Mike Tyson. This is my childhood. This is 80s to the 90s. It didn't get no bigger than Bobby,
Facts.
and it didn't get no bigger than Mike. So I'm like, I'm in here like daydreaming, like I'm motherfucking interviewing these motherfuckers to talk
Insane.
about rehab that they had together and stories about Suge Knight and the night they had before Mike lost. It was just like,
Yeah.
to just be on the fly on the wall would have been a blessing. But I'm running this interview with
Yeah.
these guys, like, oh no, holding up and start laughing and damn
Yeah.
near coming to tears, and it's just like. And then from there, he took a liking to me. His wife was there, and my wife knows my girl knows his girl, and
Nice.
they invited me and my girl to the golf tournament, and shit. That's how me and you met.
Absolutely, my brother. And now
Yeah.
here we are.
Come on, man.
Here we are.
We made it work. We made it
Hold
work.
on, man. What's your perspective? I like to talk a little bit about personal stuff. Sometimes my mind goes where it goes, off the herb. But what's your perspective on marriage, my brother? We live in a day and age right now where, you know, people, it seems like, are evolving into new perspectives about marriage. We see a lot of our generation talking about polygamy and comparing it to monogamy. And, you know, what's your overall perspective on marriage?
And this is a hell of a subject, especially with your girl in here and me
Yeah.
on the verge of
It's heavy.
telling you know the Blue Moon folks I need an engagement ring.
Ashe. All day.
It's tough. You got to make it work. I feel like in life, you know, if you have a hobby or a passion, if you're on a grind, like how much energy, passion, love do you put into that? And then on the flip side, if you got a girl by your side holding you down, how much do you put that same energy, passion, and love into the relationship?
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I had to learn. I had to unlearn a lot of shit. You know, I grew up in a dysfunctional household and abuse, and once I started popping at UCLA in '98, there was no looking back.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, I had fun.
Yeah, man, I feel like you was a dangerous type of nigga, man.
Fun.
That nigga
Fun,
said, what you,
yeah.
6'7", 6'8"?
6'8".
Come in,
the
nigga look Puerto
tattoos
Rican
with
and
the
shit.
hair,
And getting
like,
all
yeah,
the bitches.
motherfuckers thought I
Fuck, this
was
nigga
Puerto
coming to the
Rican or
party. I didn't know he
Mexican,
was coming. Fuck.
You know what I mean? With all due respect, I'll throw my resume against anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Understood.
But it was just to have that, and then to force yourself not to fall back into that when you found someone who loves you and has been down for you. It's been a journey, you know what I mean? Like I said, I've seek counseling for it, and just to kind of unlearn shit, you know what I mean? But you understand, especially me being in the space, like when a real one comes around, you can't let it go.
No, that's real.
Can't let it go.
That's real.
You know what I mean? So whatever the situation is, you got to together get through it, and you know, that's what we've done, and we're moving on to brighter pastures. So
No, that's real.
you know, I'm in love with my girl, Ananza. Her mom is Beverly Johnson.
Awesome.
You know, black supermodel. So
I think you were telling me about her.
yeah, it's been cool to just, you know, get the chance to learn her mom. And then her dad was a guy named Danny Sims, who was the manager of Bob Marley. Bob Marley to the United States. So my girl's telling me stories about how she would wake up in the middle of the night and go downstairs in the Wailers, and Bob were smoking weed in her fucking living room.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, baby, we got to make a motherfucking show about
Correct.
this. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, her dad was on some real dope gangster shit, too. So it's just like, you know, just to add that and learn about that. So shout out my girl.
Yeah, shout out.
Love you.
Shout out.
Proposals coming.
Yeah,
That's why
you'll be
at
Mrs. Barnes very soon.
I'm at the diamond store shooting this thing,
Correct.
so we might have to just work out a deal.
Absolutely, we will.
Shout out to Blue Moon. You know, we in
Yeah.
here. Marriage, like I said, marriage, you just got to make it work.
Yeah,
you know,
for
at
sure.
the end of the day, like, you know, especially if you're someone who can kind of freely, with all due respect, move. Yeah. You just got to understand and find that one person. And and it's not perfect. It's not a line like this. It's going to be this, and this. But at the end of the day, if it's worth it, you're going to make it work. And although I had a failed first marriage, I'm not against being married again.
I love it. I love it. What do you think about prenups? Me and
It's
my
a
girl
must
were
this
talking
time.
about this shit. Yeah,
It's a must this time, because the first one slid by without one.
Gotcha.
So this time is a must. And I just, you know, out of respect, you know what I mean? Just understand that, you know, especially because I've already been through it once.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it the right way. So hopefully that won't be too big of an issue. But I know that she's different. You know what I mean? So I don't think it would be. But it's going to be a tough conversation that you have to have.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, no one looks forward to that. But I think they're important. Even on the flip side, when I see guys like getting spousal support from their girl that was with them, just like, you're a sucker.
Yeah, yeah.
With all due respect, bro, like, do you, but
correct.
We hate when women try to pull this stuff. Like, now
what are you doing?
Like,
yeah, you at the courts?
On,
Hold on,
like,
bro. What are you doing?
Like, who raised these dudes? But again, to each his own.
Yeah, do you think?
I think it's important on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, if you know, if there's kids involved, obviously that's going to be different. But if you come in a situation, you should leave with what you came in with.
Yeah, yeah.
Male or female.
So when you get married, do you believe that there's a such thing as deal breakers, or everything could be worked through? Somebody asked me that before. I just want to know what do you think?
I think what you do is you kind of set your boundaries, and then to everyone they're different, and then from there, every experience is different. You know, if a deal breaker comes apart and you can talk it out and figure it out, maybe it wasn't a deal breaker. If a deal breaker's hit and you can't figure it out, maybe it's a deal breaker. But it just depends on, you know, how long are you invested? Is there kids? Is the deal breaker was a deal breaker, but now you're 6 or 7 years into it and it's just a different situation. So, you know, everyone's relationship is different. I'm not here to give no kind of advice, but just to kind of, you know, if it's worth it, make it work.
No, absolutely, man. That makes a lot of sense to me if it makes a lot of sense to you. Just want to check in real quick, man. How's everybody feeling? Everything's good? All right, awesome. Beautiful, man. Hey, real quick, before we get up out of here, I got to do two things. I need to know your top 5. I need to know your starting 5 of all time, dead or alive, legend or current, top 5 in the NBA. Who's your starting 5? And I'm going to see if you can put them up against my starting 5. Hopefully you don't pick anybody in my starting 5, which I'm sure you will. And by position, by the way, too.
My favorite player of all time is Magic.
Okay.
But Steph is a motherfucker. But I'm going to take Magic. Then I'm gonna take MJ. Then I'm gonna take Kobe. Then I'm gonna take. I'm gonna go super small. So you're gonna have to. It's gonna be a track meet. I'm gonna put Braun at the 4 and KD at the 5.
Oh shit.
So you're gonna have to.
Shit.
Keep
Hold
up.
on. What type of nigga is you? Hold on. You
Keep
can't
up.
hit me with that.
Keep up.
Oh wow.
Keep up.
I was very confident until you said the center position.
Yeah, keep up.
So I gotta pick me old slow nigga.
And we got to remember Magic played center in the finals and averaged
Magic
40
did
and
play.
something.
Yep, he did
And-
play
as a rookie.
center. Yep, his first year. Correct. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got injured. He had to get up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got Steph Curry.
No, I don't.
No.
got Steph.
You don't want. You said you didn't want Steph.
Nah,
Who you got? AI.
I got Magic.
Magic. Correct. You got Magic at the 1. You got Kobe at the 2, or did you put Kobe at the 3?
MJ at the 2. Magic
MJ
or MJ at the 2. Kobe at the 3. KD or LeBron at the 4 and 5.
Insane. All right, I got something for your ass. Hold on, Matt. I'm gonna go Steph at 1.
Yeah.
Damn, you took Jordan and Kobe. That's not
I'm
even
gonna
fair.
put Jordan or Kobe on Steph, and they're gonna
And
both sides
LeBron.
gonna have to work.
Fuck, you got Kobe, LeBron, and motherfucking
KD.
MJ. At the 2, I'm gonna go D Wade
Good
at
call.
the 2. I'm gonna go D Wade at the 2. At the 3, I'm gonna have to go Giannis at the 3. At the 4, I need somebody fast enough. Y'all niggas fast breaks about to be insane.
Yeah, see, I took as I
Yeah,
didn't allow you to
shit.
use like a Kareem or a Shaq because they're gonna do their thing, but they're gonna have to keep
They
up with
gonna be
us
slow.
too.
They're gonna be slow. You defending KD and motherfucking LeBron at the 4 and 5. You got to give me fuck. He ain't fast enough. I want KG so bad. I'm trying to fit him in, but I don't
He's
think he'd
faster
be.
than Tim Duncan though.
He's definitely fast. Wait, I'm not picking him. I didn't even consider him. We're gonna think about fuck it. Go ahead and give me Dr. J at the 4. Give me Dr. J at the 4. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Can I get Dr. J at the 4?
He's a new age NBA.
And then at the 5, even though you faster than me, I still got speed, agility, and power, and I'll put him against anybody in any era, any day. Give me Orlando Magic Shaquille O'Neal. Skinny nigga.
Scary.
Yeah, the skinny one.
We got to double team him.
Yeah, need him.
Then make sure we
Give me
rotate
Orlando
to Steph.
Magic. Give me Orlando Magic. And then now I need you from LA, man. You from Cali. You understand? Give me your top 5 rappers of all time. Dead or alive. I know Tupac's number 1.
From the West Coast or just in general, all of them?
In general.
This
I'm
is
gonna open the world up
This
to
is
you.
my list, so don't get your feelings hurt.
I'm
This
not-
don't have to be your list.
Come
'cause
on.
That you think he's who I fuck with, who I listen to. Let's take Big and Pac out.
Okay.
Tupac is number 1. He's on my hand.
Yep.
So Tupac is 1. Or excuse me, he's all time. But my 5, I got Jay. I got Wayne.
Oh, Jesus.
Jay, Wayne, Drake, Rick Ross, and Nipsey. That's who I listen to. Like
You're
that's
just not fair.
people
God damn.
I really fuck with. Now I'm not saying they're all the the greats. There's some greats in there for sure, but like who I fuck my top 5, who I'm gonna take my time and listen to.
Culture shifters.
Yeah, those are the
You
people.
pick
I'm
culture
moving,
shifters. Fuck. God damn. Okay, I'm going against you. Here we go. I'm gonna go for my first pick. I'm gonna go Kanye West.
Not mad at that.
I'm
I
gonna go
love
Kanye.
I love the old man.
Go
I
old
miss the-
Kanye.
we all miss the old
Absolutely.
Kanye, man.
I'm gonna go Snoop. I don't feel like Snoop getting enough respect. I don't
hate
feel
I
like
had to
Snoop
leave him-
getting
I
enough
hate I
respect.
had to leave him
I
off the
feel like
list.
Snoop is one of
Hate I had
the
to
best
leave him off
lyricists
the-
that ever
Absolutely.
existed.
Agreed.
Snoop. I'm gonna go KRS-One. He's my personal all-time favorite rapper of all time. Gotta go KRS-One. For 4, I'm gonna go. Man, this gets tough at 4 and 5. Jesus Christ.
Just so many.
Is Bone? Can I pick Bone Thugs? Even?
Absolutely.
Okay, you gotta throw Bone
Yeah.
Thugs in there, man. You gotta throw
Fuck with
Bone
Bone
Thugs in
Thugs.
there. Grew up off Bone, and then for number 5, I gotta go Cube, and I feel even disrespected at putting Cube that far. Like
Crazy, right?
Oh my Jesus Christ!
Crazy.
Absolutely insane.
You know,
Absolutely
we forgot about
insane.
that. I mean, there's just so many. You
So
think
many.
about Nas. You think? I mean,
Oh,
there's
man.
just so many
Yeah,
great
Big Daddy
rappers
Kane.
out there. Yeah, that
Yeah,
just
for
people
sure.
that I think someone who's underrated is I like Game. Like
Game is definitely
Game
underrated,
is
for
tough.
sure.
You know what I mean? Fab. I was listening to Fab.
All
Like
around.
Fab
Yeah,
is
Fab
tough.
nasty.
Jada's tough.
Fab nasty,
You know what I mean? So it's just there's so many
beautiful.
beautiful rappers out there, man. A
Well,
lot,
Matt,
lot
man.
of skill.
This is a treat, bro. This is an absolute fucking treat, man. I feel like we vibing out. Real quick, one of my last questions, man. I just want to say, what is it about certain influential basketball players that have a certain rap around them, and some of them that have a completely different perspective.
Me.
Like, exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
asked. I wanted to talk about that earlier.
I just think a misunderstanding. I think you see someone who was competitive in every game was pretty much fighting for my life until like year 6 or 7 was the first year I got a multi-year deal. So if we were gonna hoop or fight, that's what it was. So I feel like a reputation is earned, whether good or bad, and I kind of had a rough reputation, but I made it work. But I say all that to say, like, people would see me for 2.5 hours. I might slap somebody, I might cuss a ref out, I might kick out a game, and like think, oh, he's crazy. I heard thug,
Right?
Tatted up, this and that, all kinds of shit. And then when they get a chance to meet, we're like, damn, cool as a motherfucker.
Cool as a
you
motherfucker.
ask all my teammates, like,
For sure.
they all fuck with me. Like, they may not have wanted to play with me until I got there, and they're just like, oh, this nigga's cool as shit.
Yeah,
And I'm
for
glad he's
sure.
with us finally.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I just think people getting a small glimpse of the competitor in me was confusing people with who I was as a man, as a person, as a father, as a business owner. And once they got a chance to meet me, and I thank social media for just giving me the platform, the opportunity. Then you thank people like ESPN and Showtime, because like I said, I'm a role player in transitioning.
Crazy.
Like, I was one of the guys, like a 10-time All-Star,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
being in situations like that. So to me, I just think it's me, being authentic. Like, I never had, like Jay-Z said, I never have to guess who I'm gonna be when I'm always me when I walk in every room.
Absolutely.
If we can smoke, I'm gonna smoke. If we can't, like, I text you, like, yo, can we smoke there?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I want to be me. You know what I mean? So if I could be me, and if I can, like, if I'm going to the White House and can't smoke, I'll smoke as soon as I get outside them gates and walk
Correct.
around and walk. That's what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm always going
Love
to
it.
be me. So there's no guesswork, and I think that's what it has. My realness and authenticity has allowed me to climb in this media rank and sit in the chairs and the positions I've been blessed to sit in.
Absolutely, man. Last question of the day. I want to ask, do you have what is your podcast advice? Obviously, you've been in the podcast game for a little while now, and I'm sure in your head you have so many different things that you want to accomplish within it. But what is kind of your advice to those like us, that's grassroots, that's coming up? What should we be focusing on in developing a podcast from what you've learned thus far?
Get your core fans. You need a core fan base of maybe like just to start, at least 1,000 to 1,500 that are your core, and then speak to them. And then if people fuck with you, they're gonna find you. So you get your core 1,000 to 1,500 to buy your merch, to tune in every time, and you continue to grow that, monetize your YouTube views, and understand that the more you're you and the more you get your core into, like if this is your core, they all got people they fuck with too.
That's
so
absolutely
they're gonna
correct.
speak your shit into existence.
For
so
sure.
just continue to grow organically, and then when sponsors come, understand how powerful. Like, if you have something to say, sometimes they're free sponsors, sometimes they're paid sponsors, but they're choosing you to speak on their brand, so take that shit serious. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is, man. Enjoy it, have fun. Like, there's so many podcasts. Last thing I'll say is there's so many podcasts out there. Like, what's gonna make why am I gonna want to listen to you instead of someone else? Like, what makes your podcast different? Is it the energy you set, so the vibe is always really high, or is it the shit you're talking about? Is it your guests? Like, you never want your podcast to depend on guests, because it's the chance it slips and you don't get a guest, or you're getting lower guests. Like, you want to make your audience buy into you. Like, people
Correct.
fuck with me and Jack first and
There we
foremost,
go.
so we can do an episode and get a lot of views, or then bring someone on and get a lot of views. So again, find your core, speak to your core, and good luck.
We appreciate the fuck out of you, man.
Yeah, no
This
doubt,
has
man.
been an absolute treat, my brother.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
man.
Sorry I had to
You-
cancel the first
No
one. Man.
way.
I've been
You're
busy,
kidding
but
me.
I'm glad.
Divine
Yeah.
alignment, my brother. We made it
Yeah.
happen. It was
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. Adversity struck, and we kept flowing on that motherfucker like a smooth wave. I just want to say, man, again, thank you so much, my brother, for being here. We appreciate the hell out of you for showing up. We're going to get that engagement ring before you leave as well.
Yeah,
Hold
man.
on.
Uh-oh.
You got to understand what's
Look
going on.
out.
Unselfish Behavior Podcast. It's your main man, King Q. It's Matt Barnes. We out.